We certainly offer a lot more than just pure legal advice. We're not solicitors or barristers, although we have a lot of courtroom experience. We have, obviously, my background is in the law. I've had a lot of good organisations, some world-class organisations, for example, Slaughter and May, working for the European Commission, but also right up grassroots from the Citizens Advice Bureau, where I've been able to learn quite a lot of things where I can bring that to bear on a client's problem and come up with a solution. We also collaborate. That's a key issue as well. So we don't look to create issues. Some lawyers may lock horns. We don't. We try and work with other lawyers. We work with representatives. We work with government organisations, and we work with the court and the other client to try and come to a solution that is good for all. Saves time, saves money, saves cost. And in those sense, cost, when I say cost, I mean money and time, but also stress, because these are stressful issues and we look to solve all of those issues. If I, again, relate it back to the type of works we do, we can help a client with basic information. That's the first thing. Second thing is we can actually analyse their documents and put their documents together, so in a file, and organise them so that they are more on top of what's actually going on. And the solution may present itself just by doing that. And the third thing is actually through negotiation. Now that could be through written letters. It could be through actually calling up, picking up the phone. Sometimes clears the air, and clients are sometimes afraid to do that. Or the last end of the spectrum, again, I've spoken about it before, is advocacy. Now, advocacy can be written or oral, so you can actually go into court and help and take notes and talk things through and help those clients actually talk with the other side. But at all times, you have to be aware of who's involved. And sometimes clients are so emotionally strung up with a lot of these things, you can understand why. They don't look at the solutions. So we offer those solutions by doing those practical things. Actually, you can pick out a case from pretty much each of those areas that I mentioned earlier. And there's not one particular case. Most of them actually have an element that you learn from and are very particular to that client. And as you're doing it, you suddenly realize that in practice, it's very different to just knowing the pure side of law. And so what we're looking for, especially at CTS, are solutions. And so I'm happy to say that most of my cases, whether they were employment related, family related, immigration related, or whether it was in the city doing big corporate mergers, we're always looking for solutions. And so really it's the skill sets that you can bring to a particular fact and scenario. For example, a client came in to me regarding an employment matter, and he had no clue that actually his contract was saying something that did protect him. And it was simply saying, well, can I have a look at your contract? Going through the clauses, analysing it, and the solution was right there. Another issue may be that actually it's got so far beyond what's actually happening that you then have to instigate or engage with regulators, for example, the Home Office on an immigration matter, and then a more formal letter is required. Or at the last end of the spectrum, when you go to court, for example, someone needs some help. So normally they're a bag of nerves, anyone are. And I defy any lawyer as well, however good they are, to say that they're not also a bag of nerves when they go before a tough judge. Of course they are. But you have to hold it together. And that's really where one of our strengths lies, while it's representing the client for their best interest to look for a solution.